Hello guys, I want to give you a guide to the primary research. I'm going to use this sample IA as the guideline. So yeah, let me quickly go through this. So you see this IA here, you've all been reading it and following it for your research proposal. I just want to go down and look at what they talk about here in terms of, yeah, let's go straight to methodology. Okay, so the methodology is essentially where you're writing about what you're going to do in terms of primary and secondary sources. It's very easy to write up once you know what you're going to do. I recommend you just write it up as soon as possible. But essentially, what do they talk about here? This investigation combined 3 primary and 2 secondary sources of data in the production of a well-advised conclusion. Now, the 3 primary, that's not just doing 3 interviews or 3 surveys. To score the 3 marks out of 3 for your research, you need to have the varied primary research sources. So you need the interview, the survey, and the observation. So here, I mean, what he does in the methodology, he just basically gives for these next 3, he just basically says what is the purpose of each of the primary research, and then just he talks about the secondary sources then for some finance numbers. So I recommend you all just get, I mean, if you can get some finance numbers, or it doesn't even have to be if you're doing financial analysis, of course you need profit and loss, but it could also be in terms of secondary sources, it could also be if it's something people related, it could be the share of male and females working in a particular in the particular sections. It could be something on customer profiles, all that kind of stuff as well, if it's in that side. But in terms of the methodology, let's look at these 3 things here. The interview with the director. So first of all, he talks about the interview. So what I recommend you guys do, you plan out these 3 things and think, what is the purpose of each of them? So for the interview with the director provided a detailed outline of the objectives of the company and their current performance. This is very, very simple. This guy used his interview just to get an overview of the company. Now, you can fast forward here to page 21, 22. And here you see a transcript of the interview. So here are the questions. So I recommend ASAP you guys write out your potential questions that you're going to ask in the interview. I'm going to actually put it as an upgrade. So you're all going to sit down with someone who's running the business. Maybe you just use the interview just to understand what is the business about. What are the business aims? Remember, go back to Unit 1. We look at aims, vision, mission, all these kind of things. What do you want to achieve out of the business? What's the type of business? How big is the business? And so on. Profit driven and so on. How has the business progressed lately? How has the growth been? Does the business meet its objectives? And so on. So basically, I recommend for your interview draft, or sorry, for your interview questions, you write up about 5 or 10 questions that between 5 and 10, minimum 5, max 10 questions that you plan to ask in the interview. And be very clear. I mean, what is the purpose of your interview? And then you write that in your methodology. So the purpose of the interview, this interview was just to find out more about the company. I think that's very much needed for all of you. The second one then, the observation carried out at both branches was used to tally the frequency of late classes and the number of lessons over maximum capacity. So this person, he went to observe, because the problem was about too many people in the lessons. So should they offer online? So he went and he visited the company and witnessed what actually happened in real life. Now, I know it's going to be hard with the coronavirus to plan these observations, but perhaps things might be a bit better in in January. But you know, you could do the observation by joining a meeting as well, joining a Zoom meeting, and or even if it's, say, one of your parents' companies, just be there. Just ask your parents, can they, or your close friend, can you basically sit in the same room while they're having the meeting and just take some notes on what's going on, and that can be your observation. So again, think about what is the purpose of your observation. Is it to find out something? Is it to understand the problem or the opportunity a bit better? And then you just join in and maybe join in a particular meeting where they're talking about this challenge. And you can see on I think what you need to do well in this here is record what you notice in your observation. So here on page 19 and 20, this person they just collect some data from the observation. So you could think about, so try to brainstorm, try to be creative in thinking how might you do that for your AA. And then the last one is the survey, and you'll notice in the survey, the questionnaire was gauged was used to gauge the consumer's opinion on the quality of the tutoring and the predicament on online, and their predicament on online lessons. So, I mean, here you're just basically, you know, this is, you know, a lot of you are saying, oh, you're struggling to think what could you put in the questionnaire, but it's just, you know, some of you, it's marketing. Do the customers know enough about this product and so on? How do we get more information out there? It could just be about finding out, the aim of the questionnaire could be about finding out what the company does and so on, or how well known is the company. So if you look then on these last few pages, they have the results of their survey. So this might give you ideas of what sort of questions to write. So, for example, you know, you profile your customers, you find out the ages here, how long have they been taking the lessons, how satisfied are they with the current level of teaching, and so on. So a very, very simple survey, and then some details on the operations as well. Very organized teachers, I guess I would be in this category here. Very good. And then the current teaching resources and so on. So think about how this applies for your problem as well. Okay, so that was just a quick guide, and we'll talk more about this in the one-on-ones I have with you guys. But I recommend you get this done as quick as possible. And well, I'm going to create an upgiven now where I'm going to ask you to write your methodology and your survey, or sorry, your interview questions, your survey questions, and then the plan on how you expect to do the observation. And then I'll talk to you guys individually on it as well. Thank you.